I'm really excited to sit here today and do this because it's full moon. Get nice and comfortable. Turn your phone off. Make sure the door is locked. You're not expected. There's nothing expected of you for the next half an hour. So this is just your time to fully drop in and tend to yourself. So you might like to make me big screen, light a candle, burn some sage or Palo Santo or whatever it is that really turns you on. So, welcome. If this is your first time here, I'm really, really thrilled to guide you through a cacao ceremony, which might be a completely new concept for you. And I'm psyched that you're here to allow me to guide you through that. Or you might be a seasoned player and cacao is like a daily cup of coffee for you. But essentially what we do when we drink cacao is open up the heart. There's an ingredient that activates something in our nervous system, in our physiology when we drink cacao, which is called theobromine. And this quality potentiates the release of dopamine, which is the pleasure hormone. So it makes us feel good. This hormone actually also heightens a sense of empathy. So it allows us to come into our emotional body, our energetic body, instead of living up here in the head. I always mention living from the neck up is where a lot of us are kind of running around, busy, ticking our to-do list, living from our Google calendars, getting buzzed from notifications, and living from the neck up, right? So a lot of the time it feels like our energy is all up in here, and rarely we actually make the time to drop into our feet, to come into our body. I know so many people, and being a yoga teacher myself, have guided classes where people are just there to get it done, to tick the box. So let's make an intention now for the next 30 minutes to really give yourself the permission slip to come into this space, to get really present with what's going on in your body for you today. Even if it doesn't feel really good, you might feel a little tired. You might be winding down from a stressful day, depending on what time zone you're in. Maybe you're at the height of your energy during the day, like I am. But know that all of it's okay. The body is such a beautiful representation of our the reality of being a cyclic being. Just as nature has seasons and we have moon phases, we're also always ebbing and flowing, even though there is this pressure to live in the summer and have it all together all the time. So write yourself that big fat permission slip to just come into your body, drop into this space, and really offer yourself whatever it is that you need today, right now. So to do that, I'd like to bring some awareness to your breath. How this will kind of play out is like a guided meditation or a visualization. You might like to lay down, or if you do have a cup of cacao or a cup of tea, I actually have already had my cacao, so this is simply chlorella water. But promise you, my heart's already feeling nice and open. You might like to hold your mug with both hands, just the same way that you're holding yourself and holding your life, with lots of intention. You can bring your awareness to the room that you're in, the sounds that are swirling around the perimeter of the room, the feeling of the floor or the cushion beneath you, and just becoming really mindful and present in this space, leaving behind the day that you've had or the day that you're still in, and then taking a deep breath. You might find it easier to already close down the eyes if you feel called to do so. And this just helps remove all of that extra sensory information that our brain is processing. So to bring awareness into the body, let's turn the gaze inward now and just notice what it feels like to be in your skin today. A really helpful tool I use with a lot of my clients when they are moving through emotional overwhelm, through some of the processes I guide them through, is anchoring into the soles of our feet. So if you're struggling to breathe deeply or to calm the mind or to leave the day that you've had behind, I'd like you now to bring awareness to the tip of the nose. Take a deep inhalation and send the breath all the way down deep into the belly until you shift your awareness to the soles of your feet. And simply exhale out the mouth or out the nose, whatever feels really good for you today. So shifting that awareness back and forth now between the tip of the nose and the soles of the feet. And just allowing all of your body parts to kind of come home and come back together. We lose ourselves over the course of the day, depending on what stressful things might have happened or what emotional things we're moving through. We kind of dissociate and separate. So this simple practice of connecting breath and body just allows all those body parts to come back together, to come home. And so just continue with your breath practice. It's said that just 6 deep breaths are scientifically proven to completely reset the nervous system. So if you don't have time for 6 deep breaths, you don't really have time to live a life of joy and vitality. So give that gift to yourself now. So I can talk a little bit more about cacao before we do drop into a little meditation and guided visualization. Whoever has consumed chocolate before in their life probably knows that there is an emotional byproduct that comes with it. Except in the Western world, because we have mass produced and added artificial colors, flavors, sugars to the pure chocolate that we know as cacao. We can consume chocolate with a bit of guilt or shame or self-judgment, or maybe even worse. So my intention with working with cacao is allowing you to feel pleasure in drinking this beautiful nectar of the gods. Theobromine, that quality that I mentioned before, literally translates, the root of the word translates as food of the gods. So I see it as this great gift, that something that makes us feel so good is a natural ingredient. And when we drink the pure ceremonial grade cacao, it means that the beans haven't been separated from the fat. We're drinking it in its pure form, and we're getting all of the nutrients and the nutritional benefits as we consume, as well as the energetic and emotional benefits. So there's an indigenous myth that, if you saw my Instagram, I posted this recently, but there's this indigenous myth that comes from South America, which is where cacao grows so easily in the jungles there. And there is traditionally many tribes and cultures that have drank cacao in a ceremonial way over the last thousands and thousands of years. And so there's this myth within these cultures that cacao comes down from the rainforest when humans need it to help rebalance and harmonize between nature and society. And so I'm sure you're well aware of all of the ways that we've become disconnected from society. Even this right now, as much as it's a gift, we're speaking through a screen. We're not together anymore around fires, gathering in tribes. So cacao is here to bring us back into our hearts, to bring us back to what it means to be human and attune to the rhythms and cycles of nature, to open up our hearts so that we can access kindness and empathy and connection and communion with something greater than ourselves. So when we drink cacao, we invite all of these qualities in. And the reason why this is so important, especially in this day and age, is that there is a lot of disconnect. There are a lot of really easy reasons for us to stay out of our bodies, to live up in our heads, to stay disconnected from the truth. And on a greater scale, why I believe this work is so important is that it has such a ripple effect to invite others into their hearts, others to come home to their truth, because it's really courageous, actually. And it's not always easy. I'm based in New Zealand right now. I'm on the North Island, but you may have heard wherever you are in the world that we have just had in Christchurch on the South Island a shooting in 2 mosques where there was over 50 people killed and about 30 injured. And while it has shaken New Zealand, as this is the first thing to happen of its kind here, this kind of thing is happening all over the planet all the time. And when we really drop into the disconnect that has to happen first before situations like this of judgment, hatred, disconnect, all of the really, really hard and challenging things that we deal with being human, and all of the pain, we have such a power and a responsibility, I believe, when we do have the tools to come into our hearts as much as possible, to find love, to find acceptance for self, to find love and acceptance for others, and to allow that to ripple out. So we can gradually bring that harmony back in. Because even though it seems through the media and the news that perhaps we're tilted this way with negativity being up here, I believe that we're bringing it back into balance. And so you showing up for your heart, for your calmness, for your sense of soul connection is really, really important. So thank you for being here and for carving out this space to just simply connect with you, because there is a ripple effect of creating a deeper sense of empathy and connection as it ripples out into the people that you directly influence, into the people that read your social media, into your family, your friends, the people you work with. So the more that we can live from our hearts, the more we can be generous, be kind, we invite others to do the same and gradually bring our immediate tribes, our immediate circles back into balance, which then ripples out into a bigger sense of community. So that hopefully we don't have to keep being reminded of the pain of what it means to be disconnected. So I invite you now to, whether you feel comfortable sitting up, lengthen your spine, lift the crown of your head, or if you'd prefer, you can lay down. We'll go through a 10 to 15 minute process of meditation, visualization, just getting into your body. So closing down your eyes if they're not already. Just creating a little bit of space to breathe deeper. And placing your mug of cacao over your heart. You might like to place the other hand over your belly, your womb, wherever feels good for you to anchor in to this present moment. And while just listening to the sound of my voice, focus on breathing into the soles of your feet, finding groundedness, finding this reconnection to the earth, to the elements, to what it means to be human. Drinking cacao also alleviates stress on the nervous system. So as much as our breath is a beautifully powerful tool here, if you do have your mug of cacao, you might like to bring it up to your lips, offer an intention, and then take a sip. Your intention here might be really simple. I am calm. I am open. or perhaps a blessing. May I be loving. May I be energized. Or perhaps a longer affirmation or mantra that has arose for you. And just allowing your cacao, your cup of tea, or whatever it is that you have on hand to be the carrier of that intention. So infusing something physical and external of you with this intention, this powerful blessing, and then allowing it to merge and be married with your physical body. That intention coming true, coming to fruition. So while you rest easy and allow yourself to relax, to untangle, unwind, I'd like to ask you to get curious about what you might be making space for. What might be ready to emerge? Whether that's a new phase of you, a new quality of yours, a project, an idea. What is it that is asking for you to make space within? The full moon on a energetic level invites us to harness this energy of something being at its fullest. The only way for the full moon now to go is to recede, is to wane, is to release back to nothingness. So what is it that you can offer up to create more space for what needs to emerge in you? This particular full moon on our equinox symbolizes the beginning of the astrological calendar, a complete new beginning, a purging of the old, and an invitation into the new. So we have this field of potentiality for what we can now create, call in, welcome in, invite in, create space for. So what is it in you that you might be carrying that feels like it's holding a bit of tension or a bit of weight? Begin to scan through your body and notice if there's any muscles in contraction. Maybe your chest feels tight, maybe your hips are in constriction. What can you breathe new life into to create space without fear of anything needing to take its place right away? But on every exhalation, emptying out. Just using the breath, allow yourself to wipe the slate clean of your physical body. Inhaling deeply through your nose, allowing the belly to really expand, no sucking in, holding in, tightening in, really take up space. And exhale deeply out of the nose, or maybe even out of the mouth. You might like to take a loud, audible exhalation to really release anything that feels like it's taking up space. So through this process of simply navigating your internal world, your inner realms, realizing that there might be some things we're ready to let go of. I want you to ask yourself, how easy can you let that process be? Can it be as simple as just setting down what feels heavy? Just allowing your breath to guide you, your body to guide you, and trusting that everything that needs to be alchemized, transmuted into something new, from something dense or dark or heavy, maybe attached with a emotion that has a negative connotation like grief or sadness or anger, blame, shame, being a victim. Pay attention to whatever might be coming up for you, whether that's a memory, a song you can't stop playing in your head, or just simply showing up as irritation or frustration that you can't seem to access what you think you should be accessing. Can you trust that the experience that you're having in your body right now is exactly what is most useful to you? So I'd like you now to really focus on taking the next 3 deep breaths, on breathing out anything that's in the way of your higher self expressing itself through you. Instead of higher self, you might like to think of this energy as your authentic self, your heart, your soul, your spirit, whatever word vibes with you. But on every exhalation, just now instructing whatever feels dense that needs to be let go of out of the body now. Deep exhalation to release. Let it go. Give it back to the earth, give it back to the stars, give it back and let it go. Once you've completed your 3 cycles of deep breathing, practicing release, I now want you to practice allowing this higher self to be expressed through you. Even if you're not feeling strong or confident or energized or very good, just being gentle and moving into this space of being in your truth, of connecting to what is really real for you. You get to express this highest part of you completely on your own terms. So, whatever feels good for you. Now, invite in the qualities that you would like to call in more of this coming month, this coming moon cycle. You might choose to breathe in lightness, health, vitality, abundance. Practicing these qualities of your higher self, the part of you that knows that you're safe, secure, that all of your needs are met and you're always taken care of. Just practice now for the next few breath cycles what it feels like to be that, to be the embodied expression of your higher self. How does it feel like to be in your body? What do you want your life in the coming month to feel like? No pressure on focusing on the what or the how, the actions, the to-do lists, the boxes to tick. None of that. Simply focusing on an energetic and emotional instruction to your life so that it can respond and give you what you really want. The most potent intentions we set, the most powerful ones that can come to fruition with much less effort, are the ones we make with our energy and our emotion, not our thoughts. So to close this visualization, this guided practice of coming home to what's true for you, I'm going to read aloud a little paraphrased paragraph from mooncircles.com, just to allow us to zoom out and see the bigger picture. Because sometimes we get so caught up in our own suffering, our own pain, the pains of the world. And it is our responsibility, our sacred duty and privilege to see the overview of how influential we really can be when we show up in our goodness. So take a moment now to step back into the sacred calendar. This is a potent portal through which to visualize our fractured world made whole again. In your mind's eye, gently see it and sense it, this broad overview, your life on a timeline. See us all gathered together, moving toward a collective goal of communion and connection. Sense our full willingness around the globe to write the new great story of our rebirth, to purge the old, to release what has not served us, and to welcome in embodying the qualities that will propel us forward. For the future of our children, the strangers that we don't know, the friends that we do, for the futures of the planet, the environment, the plants and the animals. Let's come into trust and a deep knowing and remembrance that we're exactly where we need to be. Placing both hands now over the heart center, left on the bottom, right on top, keeping the eyes closed down. Just popping your mug to the side. If you haven't already, you might like to have your final sip or continue a quiet practice of introspection and contemplation after we complete this call. But just paying attention to what it feels like to be in your body, to open up your heart, and to feel safe in doing so. Not always easy. The more practice that we have in coming into our heart space while creating a foundation of safety and security for ourselves means that we can show up in this way more in the outside world without so many walls built around us, allowing us to feel more connected to others and to our life experience. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, inviting in some awakened, energized breath. Sigh to release. And then gradually bring the palms of the hands together start to create some friction by rubbing them back and forth. Just creating some pulsating electricity here. And then placing the palms of the hands over the eyes, cracking the fingertips open and fluttering the eyes to meet the light of day once again. Letting the sun or the light pour in through the fingers as you gently release the hands and come back to the room that you're in. I hope you enjoyed this ceremonial gathering for you to come home to your own body, your own heart, and to gently open. I'd love to hear about your experience. So if you'd like to get in touch with me via Instagram, just shoot me a DM over there. I will be hosting these every single month virtually, so we can keep evolving and expanding the community and gather together to create this sacred space. Thank you for showing up, and I'll see you next time.